Hello friends, it's steak night and I'm going to show you how to make a delicious steak as well as prepare baked potatoes and a spinach saute. So if you like those kind of things, stay right there and let's get it done. Easy and delicious. I'm starting tonight making baked potatoes because that's going to be what takes the longest to prepare. So I have washed these two baked potatoes and I've laid them on some aluminum foil. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. I'm going to rub them in a little bit of oil so that the skins are nice and moist, and should you decide you want to eat the skins, you can, and if not, you can certainly leave them and just eat the deliciousness that's inside. So let's get these potatoes ready. We're going to wrap them up, put them in a at least 425 degree oven, and then we're going to move on to the rest of the meal, finish up with those steaks, and have dinner on the table. I like to lay my baked potatoes in a cast iron pan. So I'm using an oval shaped cast iron pan and I'm just going to place those potatoes right on it. Now, true enough, the potatoes are wrapped in aluminum foil, but sometimes they will either sweat or some of the oil may accidentally leak. Maybe I got a little too happy with them, and I just don't want that all over my stove. So I'm going to save myself a little bit of cleanup by adding an additional pan. If you want a steak that is going to be absolutely delicious and tender, then what you're going to want to do is to sprinkle your spices all over your steak and give it a good pounding with a meat mallet. A meat mallet. Or a tenderizer. Sometimes they're called meat tenderizers and sometimes they're called meat mallets. But I love this tool and it makes my steaks absolutely tender. I'm Leona Dooley, and this is Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, and today we're in the kitchen. We are preparing a delicious steak dinner, as well as we might even have to add a little dessert. So let's get started with that because we want to be able to get this meal done in a very short amount of time without a lot of work. And we want that steak to be absolutely perfect. I've added a little bit of butter into this pot. I'm also going to put just a little bit of olive oil in there. And what I'm going to do is to saute some onions and some mushrooms and then some spinach. It's going to be absolutely delicious. We love fresh spinach. And to be able to saute it, you know, spinach and mushrooms and onions and steak, they just go together. And then you add that baked potato and voila, you have a meal fit for a king. Now also over on the side, I have my cast iron skillet that I'm heating up, and we're going to cook those steaks in that cast iron. But we're not going to worry about the steaks for a little while because it's not going to take them long to cook. The potatoes are already in the oven, as you saw, so they're baking, and I'm just working because I'm really killing time until those potatoes are ready to go. seasoning is always necessary when you're preparing some type of vegetable dish because vegetables just don't come well seasoned. And in order to cut back on the salt, I'm going to add in some garlic. My house seasoning has black pepper, it has onion powder, and garlic powder. So that's going to give our saute a delicious flavor and will keep the salt level down. While I was playing around in the freezer, I ran across a few scallops and I thought, oh, would that not be good? Add some scallops with the steak, with the spinach saute, and that baked potato. Perfect. That's what we're going to do. Finally, our skillet is hot enough to be able to handle adding the oil. So I'm going to add some EVOO and let's say about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And you know, because we're preparing scallops, eventually we may even add in a little pat of butter, just 1 pat, to add to that mixture because we want those scallops to have good flavor. And this is salted butter. So because of that, I won't need to add any salt to this skillet at all. So I'm just taking my spoon, mixing it up. And the good thing about putting the butter into the oil, it won't burn. So we're going to put those scallops in. And they're a nice size scallop, about 1.5 inches. So I'm just dropping those in. And I'm going to let them start to saute because it won't take them long to cook. And once I flip those over, then I will know for sure that it's time to add in the steak. The first steak that I'm going to prepare, that is the one that I added the whole spices to. I have chunky pepper, I've got granulated garlic, I've got some minced onions, and I put in, I can't think of all the different seasonings that the mixture has. But I used my meat mallet, and when I was tenderizing my steak, I pounded those spices into the steak, and it's had time enough to take in a lot of that flavor. The second steak, which is the big guys, I didn't do that too. I just sprinkled it with salt and pepper and called it a day. Check out the sauteed spinach, onions, and mushrooms. If I had smell-o-vision, you would want to be right here in my kitchen because it smells wonderful. The potatoes still have about 5 more minutes before they're perfectly soft. And of course, we've got to finish up those steaks. But you know what? Dinner is going to be on the table in just a bit. I'm going to use my meat thermometer in order to determine the doneness of my steak. You know, and each temperature that you're going to see will decide whether you want a rare steak, medium, or a well done steak. Each one has a different temperature. The first steak is done, but I'm going to take it out of the pan and I'm going to tin it with some aluminum foil so it'll stay nice and hot, and all of those good steak juices will stay inside of the steak. Oh my goodness. Sour cream in your baked potato. Yum. Can you smell this? When you look at this plate and you see how full it is, this is our one meal for the day. And so we're just going to take our time and savor every moment. But I want you to see what it looks like on the plate. And you saw how easy it was to put this dinner together. Now, if this wasn't our one meal for the day, then I would split this steak in half and the two of us would have one steak. And we would just divide it, and I'd give him the larger portion and I'd take the smaller portion. But you know what? Tonight, we get to just have fun and have our steak. We don't do this often. So I want you to just think about it, think about those you love, and take a moment and prepare a delicious meal. Now, I'm going to take a bite just for you. And you know what? It's not polite to talk with a full mouth. So I'm just going to chew this up well and then go and have dinner with the big guy. Have a blessed and wonderful evening. Tonight, we're also going to put together an easy and delicious gluten-free peanut butter cookie recipe. And the cool thing is, it only involves 3 ingredients. So go grab your peanut butter, 1 egg, and your sugar, and let's get that done. These are absolutely the best little cookies that you can have, and especially after such a filling dinner. 3 ingredients: 1 egg, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 cup of peanut butter. Now, the only peanut butter that I had was crunchy, and it seems to be working. But I think if you had regular peanut butter, may even work better. And then you could add nuts or whatever on top if you wanted. And so put this together. You've got the ingredients right there in your pantry if you happen to have a container of peanut butter. And you know what? Your family will love them. So let's finish these up. I've had an absolutely fun time here with you in the kitchen. I hope you will try these recipes, and I hope you will come back. Now, before you leave, don't forget, if you're not a family member, subscribe and certainly click that like button, because those are the kind of things that keep our channel going. So, I'll see you soon right here in the kitchen.